What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Alright, so I don't really want to talk about this, but I guess we gotta, because like two people wanted to talk about it. One of them is my boy, Maxime. So, people asked, when does GX start? The real question is, when does Classic end? So I call it Classic, like some people call it Duel Monsters. Duel Monsters is pretty cool. That's a cool name. I like that. So it's probably cooler than Classic. I started calling it Classic because Pokemon has like, I don't know, shit. Fuck, I don't know what it's called. And then Magic has Vintage. So I wanted Yu-Gi-Oh to have something, so I called it Classic. And basically that alluded to like the first 11 sets. That to me was, this is my opinion. That's it. So that to me was like the original card game for like the trading card game. So when I think like before GX, I think secret rares. So it's pretty easy for me to compartment it that way. I think a lot of people compartment it that way just because when you talk like old Yu-Gi-Oh, you talk like secret rares. So, you know, the transition to me is pretty clean when you talk the transition from Ancient Sanctuary to Soul of the Duelist. And I usually separate Ancient Sanctuary and before as Classic, and then everything from Soul of the Duelist to when does GX end? Strike at Neos? Fuck, I don't know. You're asking the wrong dude. Let's see. Yugi Wikia or Yugipedia will probably tell me when GX ends. I don't really know. Like, I should know, but I don't. Is it Light of Destruction? I think that's right. I think Light of Destruction is the last GX pack. I'm willing to be wrong about that. You can yell at me all you want in the comments. That's fine. You know, my bread and butter is LOB to AST. And then, so, you know, that's a pretty... I talk about this in some of the stuff that I write. That's a pretty easy way to compartment it, but like it doesn't account for all the promos and all of the like tournament packs, and it doesn't account for SJCs and stuff like that, right? So how do I compartment the rest of that? So again, like it's pretty easy. Anything that is like EN in the set abbreviation to me is not a classic card. So basically the way that I do it is if it is EP1 EN000, that the what is that, like Card of Sanctity promo from Warner Brothers, like SJC EN001, it's not Classic, it's GX. I just lump it into GX. If it's EN anything, it's not Classic. Anything that's Classic is like DL2 001, DL3 001, like TP4 is Classic. TP4 and back. TP5 and forward, not Classic. So I think that some people like gerrymander that to like have their own way with it. But to me, like the more you make it like a rule, the fairer it is, right? So for me to sit here and be like, oh, well, everything is Classic that's not EN, but also SJC and TP5 to 8, that's also Classic. Like that's not really fair. Right, so if I tell you, you know, the rules are it has to not say EN, then I can't say, okay, well, SJC is now all of a sudden Classic Yu-Gi-Oh, right? I can't lump that into collecting Classic cards. So, and what you're trying to do here is to standardize terminology across the board. So, and I appreciate people who do that because I think that when you look at like a hobby, say, and you're like, okay, people really know what the fuck they're talking about in this hobby. One of the reasons you think that is because, you know, things are equitable across the board. So you're not making exceptions for this like there aren't a bunch of ad hoc solutions, right? So when we talk about terminology, like what is Classic, for example, well, when you define that, it's important, right? Because people go and they say, okay, I'm going to collect all the Classic cards. What does that mean, right? Does that mean I have to collect SJC EN001? Do I have to now go out and get the Warner Brothers promo EP1000? Like, you know, like, what does it mean? Do I have to collect all the McDonald's promos? Do I have to collect Power of Chaos Joey? Right? Like, how do you work that? So to me, like, the more standardized this is, the fairer it is, the more credibility we get. So let's talk a little bit about this. So I'm gonna flip the screens here a little bit. All right, so you don't have to look at my ugly face the whole time. So, oh, by the way, like, I always use Yugipedia because it's owned by Yu-Gi-Oh guys. Like, Dan Parker owns, and like, he's got like a syndicate of dudes who like run this. And like, I also contribute. I haven't contributed in a while. I'm like a bad friend to Dan. Sorry, but I did add this. Look at all this. Look at that, man. Wow. Science. Look at that. Fucking hero. God damn. All right, so obviously we agree LOB is classic. Duel Monsters. Synonymous. Same thing. I use them interchangeably. Now, you could make the argument, I guess, if you really wanted to slip in that gerrymandering, like, you could say Duel Monsters includes Soul the Duelist and Rise of Destiny. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about why I bring that up. Okay, so I have Ancient Sanctuary here. I think we all agree that everything between LOB and AST is both Duel Monsters and Classic, right? Pretty cool. Look at that. It's even right here. It's like compartmented for us already. Somebody did the work. Wow. Epic. Cool. Okay, so Soul the Duelist. I already did the homework for you guys. Don't even have to click it, then open it. It's already... Ta-da! It's open. Okay, Soul the Duelist. Why do people think that this is Classic? Because it's got Yugi on it. I think it's that simple. I think that's why people think this is Classic. All right, let me be a little mean. All right, so I don't think this is Classic, and I'll tell you why. Because I don't remember it. Now, that's kind of unfair for me, like, because I didn't really play OG, like, Soul the Duelist. I wasn't around when Soul the Duelist came out. Like, I remember it coming out, but, like, Soul the Duelist was trash for years after, like, release. The boxes were, like, $45 a piece, like, as late as 2013. So, like, I don't think this is Classic, mostly because when I think Classic, I think non-EN, secret rare. Can I get a secret rare? Does it say SODEN? Yes, not Classic. Okay. Could you make an argument that this is Duel Monsters? Oh, I'm clicking the wrong thing. Yes, you could. You could make an argument that this is, in fact, a Duel Monsters era pack. So, there may be some middle ground here for us to talk about. Terminology, right? So, again, terminology is like the basis for everything that we talk about. And we should be very concerned about the terminology that we use for everything. I'm a firm believer, YouTube. Firm believer. Okay, so what else did I open up? Rise of Destiny. Whoa. Yugi's on the pack. Must be Duel Monsters. Okay, fair enough. Could be Duel Monsters. I don't think it's Classic, but could be Duel Monsters. Agree to disagree, maybe. All right. Flaming Eternity. No Yugi. What do we think? I have no opinion on this because I don't think it's Classic, and I don't really want it to be Duel Monsters. But if you really wanted it to be Duel Monsters, like, now you're even stretching it for me. Like, I could agree, like, Soul the Duelist and Rise of Destiny is Duel Monster era, but, like, man, yeah, that's a tough one for me. No Yugi. Don't know. Hard to say. Lost Millennium. Man, you lost me. Pun intended. It's a bad joke. Sorry. Yeah. I didn't plan on making that joke, just so you know. Did not plan on it. Okay, so what does that mean for promos? Like, what does that mean for promos, man? All right, so, like, this is where it gets annoying for me because, like, again, to me, like, if it says EN in the identifier, right, and it's not a reprint, right, I'll talk about reprints later. We won't even talk about that. Forget I said that. Strike that from the record, right? If it does say EN, like, to me, it's not Classic, okay? So, when you talk about, not even going to get into OCG, let's see. Where are we? I didn't open this stuff already. Tournament promotional cards. Oh, no, this is it. Tournament packs. Ooh, tournament packs. Tournament packs. What the hell? What the hell? Man, whatever. TP1. Boom. Dan Parker, fix your shit. What the hell? What the hell, Bobby? Tournament pack 1. Where are we on this? Oh, okay. I'm just dumb. Sorry, Dan Parker. You're good. I approve of this. Okay, so TB 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's open 4, right? We want to open 4. All right. So we agree. Tournament pack 1. Duel Monsters. Classic. Thumbs up. We're good. That was easy. All right. Tournament pack 4. No EN. Looking good. Let's look at some of these sexy cards. I just want to see them. I remember when this card came out, man. Those were the days. Dude pulled a morphing jar, walked out of the tournament, straight up quit. He was like, I forfeit. And he walked out of the tournament. And then my buddy did the same thing. He pulled the Royal Decree, walked out of the tournament. Like 2 days later, he sold it for $120 to some old dude. That card probably doesn't exist anymore. Gone. Tournament Pack 4 is such a shitty set. Like, such a lazy set. Look at me not trying to swear. Such a lazy set. Look at this. Like, Morphing Jar, A+. Royal Decree, A+. Megamorph, boo. Bro, this is like grade F dog meat right here. Like, rare cards, reprints, common cards, the worst kind of reprints. Like, the only thing that's nice in here is like Gravity Bind, Mystic Tomato. This saw some play. The rest of this shit, garbage. Actually, Rexon 34 will tell you funny stories about Magic Drain. Love that card. Love Magic Drain. Man, nobody gets the pucker face like a dude who doesn't want to discard a Magic card. Trust me. So, okay. Anyways, that was fun. Let's move on. So, TP5. Where are we? All right. Yeah, TP5, bro. TP5. All right. When did TP5 come out? Obviously, TP5 EN. Guess he disapproves. This is not good. I disagree. Not classic. Not classic. When did it come out? 2006. Bro, 2006? Huge neg. Definitely not classic. Let's see. When did Flaming Eternity come out? Because we're like teetering on the edge here with Flaming Eternity. When did it come out? Bro, 2005. All right, Lost Millennium. We were like, definitely not. Definitely not this. Lost me with Lost Millennium. When it come out, bro. So after the one where you lost me, TP5 came out, dude. Oh wait, I lied. Look at that. I'm being dumb. All right, so 2004. Maybe Duel Monsters era. Man, I might have to edit that out. Yeah. So this might pass, right? This might pass for Duel Monsters. I don't think it's classic. My opinion. All right. Let's see TB6. TB6. What does this say? 2005. Let's close some of these. Lost Millennium. June 2005. Probably not, right? I think we're agreeing that this is probably not. Definitely not TP8. That's like literally 2006, actually. So, that's what I think about TP 1 to 4. That to me is like classic. That's like before GX. To me, GX. Okay, so like I didn't really answer the question. I'm just realizing this. Like GX starts with Soul of the Duelist. I don't know how you don't argue that. Like to some people, GX starts. I guess that's true. Like because you're extending. Okay, so I kind of answered the question. Duel Monsters. Like, I guess you could extend Duel Monsters into, I don't like this, Rise of Destiny, and then take GX from there. But like, I still don't think that's true. I think GX starts with Soul of the Duelist. I really think that's true. I'm sorry if you disagree. All right, let's look at promos. Right, let's go to. We could do this pretty easy. Let's go order of set. Release. Yeah, let's do that. Wow. A whole list of all the things that were released in order? Holy shit. We struck the mother load, boys. All right, TP4, here we are. Look at this. Where are we? 2003? Yep. Prime time, baby. This was the best time to be alive in Yu-Gi-Oh! Right here. Magician's Force. Breaker just came out. God damn. Oof, this is peak right here. Ruxin, tell him. Tell him, dude. Dark Crisis format. February 2004. Slate Warrior. That's your boy. Let's take a look at those cards. Oh my god, this was peak Yu-Gi-Oh! Life, dude. Peak. This is when Yu-Gi-Oh! Peaked. I'm convinced. Bro, this is it right here. The king. Nobody's better than this man. Nobody. Look at those pecs, dude. Bro, the thing that used to piss me off the most is this guy is Fiend and Wind. Why? Why, dude? Why is this guy Fiend and Wind? Alright, let's look at some promos, huh? So, alright, for those of you who don't know, the last set released without EN is Power of Chaos Kaiba. This is the last promo set. PCK. Boom. And the first one after it is Reshef of Destruction. So here's where some people disagree with me. And like, this is probably the best argument that Classic can continue. Right? I don't really care about Reshef of Destruction, but I do care about Power of Chaos Joey the Passion. So here's what I do care about. You could argue that this is the last Classic promo set. I don't think it's true, but that would take you to June 29th. Where does that put us? Just after Ancient Sanctuary. Just after Ancient Sanctuary. Just before Ulevo and Medio the Matchless. Ooh, wow. Crazy. There's no picture. I don't think it exists. I think it's gone, boys. Sorry. When did... See, this is the one thing that makes me angry. Because this is like... It kind of like sits on the fence. Sorry. EP1 EN000. Right, so this is an EN card. Right, Card of Sanctity. If you collect Classic, you do not have to collect this card. This is like a pretty rare card, to be honest. By pretty rare, I mean like extremely rare. But this card did something entirely different in the like anime, I'm pretty sure. So you don't have to collect that, but it's an EN card that sits comfortably between IOC and AST. Thank you, Konami. All right. And here's why I don't think SJC is Classic. Because it's after Rise of Destiny. It's after Master Collection. Bro, it's after they reprinted... Come on, man. All right, whatever. I won't get too salty about it. Some people think that Stein is Classic, bro. I mean, Stein is a boss, but... Bro, I'm going to show you one thing. One secret. SJC EN001. Kind of tough for me. Kind of tough. Don't agree. All this like ad hoc gerrymandering. Not for me, boys. Not for me. All right, so without belaboring this, so I want to talk about reprints just for a second. So I think that you can have reprints of Classic sets in a different, released in a different era, right? So the cards are Classic, termed Classic reprints, right? But they are of a different printing era. They're printed in a different era, is what I'm saying. So when we talk about reprints, yes, this is a Classic reprint. This is a reprint of a Classic card. Like I struggle to like to describe it because I don't want to give too much credence to reprints. But I don't want to be unfair because I think that the cards are classic cards. They're just printed in a different era. So to be fair, they are classic reprints printed separately. So I think you could have a LOB pack, right, to classic pack. It's just from printed in a different time. Nope. Like time traveling. Exactly like that. I hope that answers some of your questions about what I think. I mean, look, hey, we all collect the same cardboard, all right, boys? It doesn't matter to me what you call it, all right? I just disagree. It's okay. I mean, we all can think whatever the fuck we want, man. It's cool. So when I set out about collecting the stuff that I wanted to collect, I boxed myself into a period that I remembered, right? And I gave a term to it because I needed to have something to I needed to be able to express that concept to people in a concise way, right? So what I did was I boxed the time period and said, okay, this is pretty easy. Anything that has EN on it is GX and after, and I don't care about that, and I want to collect all the stuff before that because that's what I remember, right? So when I talk about classic, people know what I'm talking about now because I've talked about it for years. And because my terminology has been consistent. So, I encourage you to do one thing more than anything else is to, be consistent with terminology and well, two things. And to know what you mean when you say it, because words mean things, right? So when we use terms to describe things, we need to be very careful about the way that we phrase things so that we're not, confusing people who come in and don't necessarily understand what the hell we're talking about, right? Because we got all these big brain dudes around here who understand all these crazy things about reprints, and this is wavy print, and this is semi-wavy, and this is half wavy, and this is a third wavy, and people are like, what the fuck is all of this shit, right? And people fail to understand it, and what it does is it pushes people away, right? And when we do that, because it's just too much to understand, right? And to some extent, right, it has a lot to do with why I can't play modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Because there's too much shit to understand at this point. So, one of the things that I encourage people to do is to have very simple terms that people can easily understand without having to go into a dictionary or invade Schlost's brain to understand what the hell we're talking about, right? So I think that it's important when we talk about things like, I'll give, for example, wavy and glossy, right? So we talk about wavy and we talk about glossy. That's easy, right? People understood that. And then we said, okay, wait, there's a third thing, and it's just regular LOB, okay? We're going to call it standard, right? Okay, it's the normal shit. Well, now we have this half wavy thing, and people called it a half print for a long time, which confused the fuck out of people. And so what I started doing was calling it semi-wavy, because basically what it meant was that it's not exactly an entirely wavy card, but it's not normal. So there's some premium involved in it. People understand that because you can take a thing semi and people are like, oh, semi. So it's almost, but not really, right? And that's easy to understand. And so what we need to do as a community is to have some kind of terminology and boundaries that are not ad hoc and whatever the hell you want them to be. That doesn't mean you can't collect whatever the hell you want to collect. I collected TP5 to TP8, right? They're not classic cards to me, but I wanted to include them in my collection. So I created some ad hoc crap that I, used to include them in my collection. So, that doesn't mean you can't collect anything you want. It just means that, you have your own thing that you do. Great. That's fine. But leave the terms alone. People understand terminology. I think we need to be more consistent with the way that we describe things. I think that would give more credence to our hobby. Hopefully that makes sense. Thanks for listening. All right, so that's about it. I dragged on for 5 more minutes than I wanted to. So thank you for tuning in to this, and I'm glad that you guys gave me this topic to talk about, even though I didn't want to talk about it. Thanks a lot.